So, I'm from very humble beginnings. My mother was a teenager when I was born. I, from an early stage, got involved in the school.
Right.
I was one of the student leaders at school. I was a part of the 4-H club. And I so happened to have met Michael Manley, former Prime Minister of Jamaica, at a young age.
Okay.
While I was still in high school. And I was so impressed by how he cared for people. No one's perfect, and he made some mistakes along the way, but he was someone with great humility who sought to serve. And I thought that we all ought to work together to build a better place for humanity, because others before us worked to build this world that we know, that
Right.
we are now enjoying. I got here and I got involved also in the political arena. I worked on the campaign for the second black person elected in Broward County, Andrew DeGraffenwright Wright. Most people, unless you've been here a long time, you don't know that it was not until the 70s that we had 2 black elected in Broward County.
Wow.
Now we have a large number. I happen to have benefited from many of the work that was done, in that I served as the chair of the Broward Black elected officials from 2015 to 2022. We built an organization to help the inclusivity of elected officials in office. And in 2020, I think the crowning achievement of what we did with that was we had 5 blacks elected across Broward County. Of the 6 countywide constitutional seats, 5 are now held by blacks, because we were there working. We have more black judges now. We have more minority judges. And again, going back to the concept from my days in college, understanding and realizing that our strength is the diversity of our people. And the more we're inclusive, the more everyone is at the table, living to their fullest potential, the stronger and better nation we have, and a better world that we have.
And you're right. We have benefited from what the previous generations have planted for us. We have been benefiting from the fruits of what they have planted. And that's always the question: what are we doing for the next generation and coming generations?
Exactly.
And I mean, someone with your background and with your achievements, you are a typical living example of that.
Yes.
So now, your love for politics, your love for community leadership, your love for change in policy and making things better for people. Tell us before being the former mayor or being mayor of Broward County, what were some of the developments that led you up to that?
So while I was in college at Broward College, I actually worked at McDonald's. And by 20 years old, they made me a general manager to run a store.
Okay.
Or something.
Right.
Right? And at 22, I bought my first home. And I realized how important it is, ownership is. So I learned business operations from McDonald's. They sent me to what they call Hamburger University.
Yes, I like that.
In Chicago, Illinois. But what people laugh about that, but it taught you the principle of managing people, of finance, of how you run an institution, how you train and develop people. And I took that and then got my own business started, became a real estate broker. So in my real estate office, we built that office up to where we had almost 90 people, just under 90. We're doing 400 to 600 transactions per year. We're a preferred broker for Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Citibank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. We did hundreds of deals. And the main reason I got in that arena was I realized that, especially within the minority communities, particularly black communities, home ownership lags the rest of the population.
Right.
Right now in South Florida, that population has ownership at about 47% compared to 76% for the white population. And knowing that the largest investment that someone makes in this country, and probably in the world, is their home. And that then transfer into other things.
And especially nowadays, the home is a major investment.
It's a major investment. So now people have borrowed money from the home to start a business,
yes,
to send kids to college, to weather a downturn in the economy or in their finances, where if they get ill, they can find some fund in there. And also, it's the largest asset people have at retirement. And then they downsize to a condo or to something else. And that's what helps take them through the rest of their lives. Or it's paid for and they can live there without having to make a payment. So it creates generational wealth
Of course, of
that's
course.
transferable easily and readily to other generations to end the cycle of poverty for so many families.
That is interesting. But so speaking about that, now that you're running for, I mean, I want to jump into the Congress thing, but I want our viewers out there, because we got so many people from throughout the world who come here to Broward County, who come to America. I want them to get a little more of your background. And so that's how you ended up running to become mayor of Broward County.
So there's
what led you into that excitement?
So yes.
Because that's a big position.
So the direct point that took me there
Yes.
is, while being a real estate broker, being a part of the Realtors Association, I served on several committees. One of those committees was the Political Action Committee, because of my love for politics. And I was on the candidate screening committee to screen candidates and to endorse them
Okay.
in 1998. So I screened all the candidates for several cities, including the one I lived in at the time, Lauderhill. And at the time, City Hall was on one side of the street, police station on the other corner, and drug dealers on the other corner.
Wow.
And there was tremendous amount of blight in the area.
Yes.
The area wasn't maintained at 55th and 19th Street. Businesses weren't doing so well, or schools weren't doing so well. And I couldn't get a good answer from them. In fact, one of those leaders said that it was not unusual for drug dealers to sell drugs across the street from City Hall and the police station. When I questioned him, he says, not unusual for that to happen. Many others didn't see the blight. So I decided, if that's who we're leading the city, then I could come up with some better idea and find some solutions. And I ran. Lost the first time by 117, the second time by 334, but I persisted. And the third time in 2004, I ran and won the seat and set forward to move to do the work. And I brought the team that got me elected in and says, look, this is not just for me to do, it's for all of us to do together as a team. Got the Lauderhill Chamber of Commerce, I got elected in March. By August, I had a Lauderhill Chamber of Commerce up and running. By October, we did the first ever in the history of Lauderhill a business expo, because I know that economics is critical for us to move our community forward. I later put together a group of very bright, educated people, far more bright and educated than I, but that's what leadership does. Bring good people together.
Listen, that's what America is known for. We bring all the engineers and all the doctors and all the intelligence from throughout the world, bring them to America.
And utilize that strength to build a better place.
That strength and energy.
So that group helped me put together the Chamber of Commerce, of course, under my leadership, the Lauderhill Education A+ plan that we funded at $100,000 per year, unprecedented for a smaller city. We increased home ownership in the area. We cleaned up the area. We bought the site where the drug dealers were. And we put in place a nonprofit organization, one called Right Side Poets, that does use poetry to bring the academic achievement of our students up. Because if you can read and write and speak well, you're on a good pathway to success.
Truly.
We also put the Lauderhill Incubator, Arts Incubator in there to help artists up and coming, but also to enhance the quality of life for the people in the area. Clean the area up, transform it, increase home ownership, school achievement improved, business improved. I actually designed a slogan, Shop Lauderhill, that if you live in your community, you ought to shop in your community so that you have the economic impact from your spend within your community and help our small business. Put together Lauderhill Business Incubator, put together a Sister City program that created Sister City with Chaguanas in Trinidad, with Suzano in Sao Paulo, Brazil, with Trelawney in Jamaica, and several others around the world. And that started the international piece of what I've done in traveling for trade missions to places like Ghana, Nigeria, Israel, India, Colombia, Costa Rica, and several other places to enhance the opportunity for American business to sell more goods and services to the rest of the world. Winning a presidential award for that in 2019. That award goes back to the days of Kennedy, 1962, because we helped so many of our businesses here to sell more goods and services to the rest of the world, which is important for us to connect to the world.